so far, some people will say, but yet so near. And it's so near in the sense that things playing out are showing that Nigerians may be in for a big surprise come 2027. APC, the ruling party, says it must maintain status quo. But opposition sees it the other way. And so, what are we getting? Nigerians may be getting confused about just what is playing out. For us, it is about good governance. That's what Nigerians clamor for. For opposition, it is giving its best to the nation and wants to take Nigeria out of the woods. Things have been bad, from insecurity, health, education, policies of government are being questioned. How are they playing out with Nigerians today? Nigerians have been seen going through pains, and the pains some Nigerians are saying is getting unbearable. But we've heard the opposition saying with its policies and what it is doing, renewed hope that it is giving to Nigerians, the pains must come, and so the gains will follow. But do Nigerians have the patience for these pains and how long it will take? Now, from the opposition, it's been said that nothing is working out with this administration. Matter of fact, Atiku Abubakar on the national television had gone to say that he would reverse all the policies of this administration. And Nigerians are saying, wow, nothing has worked, nothing is there. And so what is opposition giving to Nigerians? Nigerians are saying that opposition clamors that it wants to take over. But what has it on ground to show that it is opposition that is ready to take over? And what are Nigerians getting from all the, all opposition is saying? So much to talk about as the race for 2027 has just begun. My guest this morning is a journalist, is a public affairs analyst, and is a columnist too. He'll be putting his thoughts on Nigeria, opposition, and the ruling party. And for what we may see come 2027, will betrayal be part of the game for 2027? Musa REEF is my guest this morning. Good morning, Simon Musa REEF, and welcome to this program, Perspective, this morning.
Good morning, Oga Alabi. Good to join you in this very program. Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Okay, I'll get to do that. All right. Okay, I'm just looking at opposition and what is giving out to Nigerians that it wants to take over, that things are bad in Nigeria. And we've had, one of the big shots of the opposition, Atiku Abubakar, saying that if opposition takes over, or if he takes over, it will be a matter of reversing all the policies of the EPC, and Nigerians are at shock with that. Are we saying that nothing has worked, nothing has been done by the ruling party? Of course, all of these. So when you make a comparison with opposition, what is saying and what is clamoring for, and the ruling party and what is churning out to Nigerians today, how is this coming down to you?
Well, thank you very much, sir. To say that the present administration has not achieved anything, I think it's an overkill. It's not the complete truth. Yes, we knew when we are witnesses when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was inaugurated as president. Before then, we had crisis, insecurity ravaging many parts of the country, especially in the north. And I think you must commend him that initially he tried as much as possible to see he contain the spiraling insecurity. Months later, we saw him doing a lot of things. We were also aware our universities were always emerging constant crisis of strikes. At least in the last 2 or 3 years, nearly 3 years, he's been able to find a curve where he's brought university teachers, and they've been having 1 or 2 discussions. And then we can, the government said the era of strikes in most public universities, especially the federal, is over. Those are little things. Then I think we also saw him doing a lot of economic reforms, inflation was brought down, a lot of things. But we see in the last 2-3 months, because of what is happening in Iran, the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran has shot up the prices. Inflation is returning fast. And we also understand that the initial achievements, strides he achieved, or I mean, he performed on insecurity in the last 2-3 months has been terrible. Things are going back to what it was. Well, people will say the return to insecurity is the handiwork of opposition. You know, when the president was inaugurating, or he was opening the opening ceremony of the Nigerian Revenue Service, I think this week, I think on Tuesday, Akpabio, the Senate president, said insecurity will disappear 2 weeks after elections. So the question some of us ask, are we simply going to throw our hands in hopelessness and despair and say we will continue to be killed until after the elections? Let me make one thing clear here. The burden of protecting the lives and property of Nigeria is on the shoulders of President Tinubu. I recall, and we all remember very clearly, that during the Jonathan administration, there was nothing that was not done to describe him as a hell lot of clueless person that has no answer to the insecurity issues. Of course, Nigerians were convinced, and they took out Jonathan. And Jonathan, of course, because he thought the blood of his ambition was not worth the blood of any Nigerian citizen, he decided to let things go. And even we were told, and we knew it to be a fact, that was also confirmed by the opposition then, came up to say they had imported people with arms to make the government impossible if Jonathan did not allow himself to be defeated. So it was a whole lot of issues. So what happened in 2015 is exactly what's returning in 2026, 2027. And while I may not subscribe wholly, entirely to views that the government has not done anything, I can only say they've not been able to guide, they've not been to be a steady guide in ensuring and protecting their achievements. I've always maintained no nation allows citizens to be subjected by intense suffering. If there is any current move against corruption, that move has been frustrated due to the mass suffering in the land. One, the spike in insecurity in some part of the country that is threatening to engulf many other parts tells you clearly, without any sense of falsehood, that we are gradually returning to the dark era. In a situation where a general recently, Brigadier General, was killed by members of Boko Haram ISWAP in the northeast, and we've seen so many things happening. The wave of insecurity ripping across some parts of this country has remained underreported. The whole idea is, don't do that, don't give it to the opposition, they are doing this. So I think it is that wave of despair and hopelessness that is making people to think of, hey, let's have an alternative. Let's have an effective opposition. Of course, the opposition will always tell you the darker side of the story. Now, and as Erofai said, the work of the opposition is to tell the citizens that the present government is not doing, even if they are doing anything commendable. The work of the opposition to paint things very, very clear. And you will agree with me, there are issues that opposition can seize to drive in their campaign against 2027. But I can also tell you that the opposition itself has its own problem. One is the strength of bedfellows, and also is is a platform that has become a rallying point for politicians who are not interested in serving Nigerians. They are only interested in grabbing power, in driving away Tinubu. If in 2015 we had the APC coming, screaming that Jonathan was clueless, it took us less than 3 years to understand that the real clueful, somebody who knew what to do, but lacked the political will to do it, was Jonathan. All the 8 years of Buhari administration, what did we get? Insecurity festered. There was nothing that you can point out that being a general, being a former head of state, a military leader, whose job is security, whose main specialty and focus is on security. What was achieved? Nothing. So if we never achieved it under a military general, do we expect that we achieve same under Tinubu? No. What has happened now tells you that we have commercialized insecurity. We have politicized it. People that are involved in insecurity have taken it into a means of livelihood. People that are recruited, I can say some people that are recruited to stop insecurity don't want security to stop. And making things very difficult that and also incomprehensible is the absence of a clear-cut policy of government in what to do, or what is it to negotiate with terrorists? Is it not to negotiate with them, or is it a blend of both? If it is a blend of both, how far has it been? You heard of kinetic, you heard of non-kinetic. Just yesterday, I was reading about over 700 ex-militants, repentants have been released. In the past, we heard how Boko Haram repentants were released and brought into the army. Some of them were recruited in the army. We all even had some of the soldiers coming out to say, hey, the entire thing has been compromised. That even when they get to war, what happens? You just hear people, shooting from the back. So it is this thing that is making people think that the lack of viable opposition to question incumbent those that are in the seat of power has become paramount, that we need to do this.
Okay.
And I think it is the reason why the emergence of the ADC that is peopled by politicians of yesterday who were incapable of giving solutions. Now they have now found a platform.
Okay, Simon, again, on all of these, what we're getting and what some people, public affairs analysts are also putting out is to say that what we have today could just be said to be a formidable opposition. Formidable in the sense that not even in, before Jonathan's, time, before 2014, 2013, that the kind of opposition that Jonathan saw this time around is much more bigger, stronger, and so formidable that the question is being asked: can Bola Ahmed Tinubu survive, this opposition? Some analysts will also say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not, good luck Jonathan, and so they've given him names to say that he's a master strategist. But what we have on ground, 32 governors of the 36 states, including the FCT, are on the side of the ruling party, and so. Is that, signs that Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the APC, the ruling party, can just be said to be coasting home to victory? And again, question being put again would say that betrayals, are we talking about? Can we see, or are we seeing betrayal? And the betrayal, all the signs are coming to what can happen to Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the north. The north is said to be, the game changer in any election. And so the question of the north again being a game changer, because if we talk about numbers are what brings out victory in any elections. The north has it, But what North are we talking about now? Do we still have the monolithic North as we once had it? And so, are you worried about betrayals that can come for Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027? He has also said, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that I am not scared. You know, I won't give up. I'm not scared of opposition, and I won't give up. So, what's this thing about the president now that gives him this confidence that he talks? Some people say he must be guided with the talks he makes or what he puts across to the public. But he's saying, I'm not scared about opposition. So, are we seeing, can we see, and would we be talking about betrayals come 2027? And that betrayal, the pointers are saying that it will come from the North with 32 governors. That's not saying that it's a sure victory for him. What are we seeing again as we play out 2027?
Well, for that, let me briefly say that the issue of betrayal has always been a part of politics.
Mm.
Politicians are good at betraying people.
Mm.
We're not saying all of them are betrayals. Somebody told me something, and I looked over it. He said, the first condition of you being a politician is not to have any shame.
Mm.
We are not saying that we don't have real, credible Nigerian politicians that are out there to make things work. But these politicians are in very few numbers that are incapable of creating any impact. Well, there are very few. We hope that others will join them. But coming to your question, for the first time in the history of Nigerian politics, we've had over 30 governors coming to say they are pitching their tents with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Now, there is a trending video. I think it trended for some 2 weeks or so, where the governor of the North was telling the people, hey, speak from your heart, vote from your heart. Let what is happening judge you. Let it guide you to cast your vote. Now, we've seen another idea of this is Atiku has come out to clearly tell Nigerians that 2027 is his last chance. So all attempts by the obedient and others that are opposed to him, he has given them a sign that nobody will force him to step down for their idol.
Hmm.
I was so shocked at the convention when Obi and Kwankwaso arrived. You have these voices, Obi, Kwankwaso, Obi, Kwankwaso. I think it's too early. And in the interview he granted to a TV station, I think 2 days ago, yesterday or so,
Yeah.
he showed how angry he was. He wasn't comfortable. And we all know that the man that will pick the ADC presidential ticket, if ever the Supreme Court allows it to be, is Atiku Abubakar. Why? Because he is aligned with the competitive nature of the Nigerian politics. He knows what it means. He has been a general in presidential contest. And he has gathered the structure that can deliver the presidential ticket to him. Of course, there are other people who say, oh no, the South should be allowed to spend the remaining, let's get a candidate that will compete with Tinubu for a term. And Obi has given himself to that. And also, the plan on ground is say, hey, the best running mate to Obi should be Kwankwaso. So that when the power returns to the North in 2031, it will be Kwankwaso bid if eventually the opposition wrests power from Tinubu. Now, let me tell you, I never expected the president to say what he said. He's not scared of opposition. You don't need to scare. You don't need to be scared of opposition. You don't need to, even if you are scared as a leader, because there are so many things running in the country. Nigerians are not happy with what is happening. Nigerians are daily becoming pauperized. They are impoverished, and they cannot have peace, no security for their lives. That you don't see it on the pages of newspaper, and you see all of those things on social media. Tell you the social media is becoming the only platform where all Nigerians go there and say their mind and tell you what they see. But I'm worried. I'm worried because the politicians, our true representatives, who are members of both state and national assembly, where are they? That's the question. Where are they? They are silent. They are quiet. They don't identify with the people that they are supposed to represent. And that is why I said one time that I've lost confidence. If you have someone like an Akpabio that will come out and tell you all sorts of things, you wonder, it tells you the quality of people that we have in the parliament. How do you approve a loan of $6 billion within just 4 hours without asking questions? You just approve, and everybody claps his hand, and you come and say, on your mandate we shall start. Which mandate? And then the mandate of the president is to make Nigeria a secure place for everybody. Where one area is not secure, then it means all areas are not secure. And for politicians to simply concentrate on the politics of 2027 without taking into consideration the spiking attacks in various parts of this country, without taking into consideration the mounting suffering subjected to Nigerian citizens. No, that is not politics. That is not democracy. Because democracy is a power for it's a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So they have convinced many Nigerians, including me, that this democracy is not for the people. It has only been for the ruling elite. And let me tell you, the betrayal that we will have, if you ever think of like that, is that when mass suffering takes over, it will overthrow the betrayals. Because a governor who has done nothing, who has done more, because most money that has been that were gotten, that were realized as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy, they are distributing it to states. Now you ask the question: how many states are standing up for their people? How many states are providing for the people? There are some states you don't even have buses to even convey people. There are so many things that have gone so bad. So the suffering has continued. And like someone said, some of the governors are more powerful than the state. But when there's a problem, everybody blames it on Tinubu. So when the legislature is in bed with the executive, then you don't have a democracy. I've always said that democracy runs on a tripod. Executive, legislature, and the judiciary. Some people are even saying that, hey, you can't even get justice from the judiciary. So let me tell you, there is still money in the system, but the money is cornered by very few people. And what becomes the final thing is the impoverishment of Nigeria on a mass scale.
Okay.
I think it is when citizens will rise up and embark on a mass revolt, because what the poor Nigerian wants is nothing, not democracy or whatever. Do whatever he wants, but give him security, give him an opportunity to live a decent life.
Okay,
where you are saying no, he cannot live a decent life. He will always live in impoverishment. He is being chased then by insecurity. Then I think that is the problem, and that is the cause of my worry.
Okay, Simon, getting signals that I must go for a commercial break. I'll be back with you at the turn of the break.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Are you serious? For real, are you serious? Invicta FM.
Every story carries a legacy, and every legacy deserves to be told. The family of Bernard Wasachi Ada cordially invites you to a remarkable literary event, a book launch in honor of their daughter, Mrs. M.A. Ojile, featuring 2 inspiring books, To Ada and Harrietta. To Ada, a powerful reflection on TIFF history and legacies, preserving culture, identity, and heritage for generations to come. A heartfelt story focused on passing down good values and legacies, guiding the younger generation to grow into responsible and upright individuals. Join us as we celebrate knowledge, culture, and the power of storytelling. Date 18th April 2026. Venue Lumana Hall, Zamani College, Kaduna. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Be a part of this enriching experience where history meets purpose and stories shape the future. For more information, you can call 0703 080 4282. Don't just hear the story. Come and be a part of the legacy.
Duk abin da kuke yi muna ganin ƙoƙarinku cikin iyali kuna nuna so muna jin daɗin hakan. Power oil muna nan da ku mun tsaftace dukkanin ɗigo akan 200 naira mu haɗu mu yaɗa soyayya. A duk sanda ka yarda da mu a gurin girki muna ganin ku shi ne ya samu kayo na 200 sashe sai da ku. Kuna dalilin wannan tsari mai sauki ku more wannan sashes akan 200 naira. Za ku samu Power Oil Mini Pack sachet akan 200 naira.
Power Oil, Power Oil. Yana da daɗi, da ɗanɗano tare da Cremella. Ga sauƙi, yana da daɗi a kunu ko shayi.
Yi nishaɗin ɗanɗano mai arziki da daɗi na Cremella Crema, cikakke don babban ɗanɗano a shayi, koko, kofi da sauran zaɓin abinci.
Ya daɗi da ɗanɗano tare da Cremella.
Ƙara ɗanɗano da Cremella.
Ojiyabba shakata wajen more kira da naira 100 ka salamu kuɗin ka sai MTN da kuna samun matsala wurin kira idan ba ku da kati to ko sauki ya samu in ka sa naira 100 zaka samu naira 400 a layin MTN domin shiga tsarin ku sa naira 100 sannan ku danna tauraro 889 hash za ku iya amfani da shi cikin kwana ɗaya. Shakata da tsarin MTN G's Plus don more kira. Sharuɗa da ka'idoji sun shafi wannan.
A gasar Golden Hunt Promo za ku iya samun saman naira miliyan 80 tare da wasu kyaututtuka masu armashi.
Wannan gasar ai ba sai an tallata ta ba.
Ina dalili.
Mahaifiyata kaɗai ta isa ta lashe wannan gasar ta maƙudan kuɗi har naira miliyan 80.
'Yan Najeriya me kuke jira? Ku shiga gasar Golden Hunt domin a yi da ku. Sai fakitin Golden Mon Golden Hunt na gram 30 ko 45. A bincika lamba ta musamman sai a kira. Tauraro 8011 tauraro 1 tauraro 1 alamar naira domin samun damar nasara a gasar. Za a rufe gasar a 15 ga watan Afrilun 2026. Golden Moon abokin rayuwa a kullum.
Oh yeah now. Time to run your money correct. Download Bill Station for iPhone and Android, no dolly, or waka go to billstation.com sharp. Bills, transfer, everything dey one place.
Make you get rewarded instanta when you use the referral code BISAN. When you download the Bill Station app, make you enjoy exclusive bonuses plus cash prizes wey fit reach up to 5K. No dolling, make you download now.
Bill Station, money no go stress you again.
My friend, time na money.
Yaɗa jita-jita da labarin ƙanzon kurege ci yake kamar wutan daji cikin al'umma, wanda kuma baya haifar da komai sai koma bayi da tabarbarar da zamantakewar mu, ya cusa tsana da ƙiyayya a tsakaninmu, furta kausasan kalamai ta fuskan addini ko ta siyasa da ma al'ada yana taka gagarumin rawa wajen haifar da tarzoma. Don haka mu zamo 'yan ƙasa nagari masu gina tubalin zaman lafiya ba masu rusa ta ba ta hanyar tantance labari kafin yaɗawa. Sannan duk abin da kasancewa kana da shakku a kai ka bar shi, kada ka bari wasu su yi amfani da kai wajen tada zaune tsaye. Mu haɗu mu rungumi gaskiya mu watsar da jita-jita domin inganta zaman lafiyarmu da yauƙaƙa zamantakewan da ke tsakaninmu. Tantance labari kafin yaɗawa shine cikar kamala. Wannan sako ne daga cibiya mai rajin kare demokaradiyya da cigaban al'umma wato Center for Democracy and Development.
Maganar tazara
shi.
Su sale jajaye, amma gaskiyar magana ita ce addininmu yana karfafa kula da lafiyar uwa da tarbiyyar yara cikin nutsuwa da jin kai. Ai tun da yin tazara haihuwa yana taimakawa mace ta warke da kyau, lafiyar jikinta ta dawo sosai bayan haihuwar da ta yi a baya har ta samu damar kulawa da yaranta cikin kwanciyar hankali, to wannan ba haramun bane, illa dai wannan wata hikima ce mai alfanu. Kuma ba laifi bane idan mace ta nemi mafita. Addini baya son wahalar da kai, don haka kula da lafiyarki da tsara makomar iyalinki ibada ce.
Ziyarci cibiyar lafiya mafi kusa domin farawa ko a kira lambar waya 222 wannan saƙo ne daga ma'aikatar lafiya tare da tallafin gamayyar ƙungiyoyin Pronet da FEM.
Manufar da kyautuwar iyali, uba, 'ya'ya da ma'uwa.
Yanzu lokaci ne na garabasar samun nasarar Indomie. Muna ƙara cin Indomie, muna ƙara samun nasara.
Kamar yaya?
Ku tara emtin ledojin Indomie noodles guda 10 mai gram 70 ko mai gram 120 wato super pack. Ku kai su cibiyar karɓar garabasar nasarar Indomie domin samun damar cin kyautar paketin Indomie mai gram 70.
Yawancin Indomie, yawan damar cin nasara. Domin ƙarin bayani ku biyo mu a shafin Indomie Arewa Facebook ko ku tuntuɓi cibiyar garabasar mafi kusa da ku. Indomie, ingantaccen abinci.
Domin nasara.
Kalli wani kunshi, wannan shi nake kira gida ya cika.
Mana, ai ce na cika.
Ho ho ho. Wane ne yake maganar ki? Ni ina maganar paketin madarar Peak Yogurt wanda yake a hannunki ne.
Aha! Muna gabatar da lita ɗaya na paketin madarar Peak Yogurt, wato Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack. Tare da tsarin armashi da ke kunshe cikin tatacciyar madarar saniya. A rarrabawa mutanen gida kowa ya ji daɗi, tare da samun moriyan isasshen vitamin da yake ciki.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Connected. Stay online with Invicta 98.9. www.invictafm.ng.
Welcome back. Still with the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at the state of the nation and, of course, talking about developing stories on the Nigerian space. And my guest this morning, Simon Musa REEF, a journalist, a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, is also a columnist and a public affairs analyst. He's putting his thoughts on Nigeria 2027, which is, what we all, are looking at. And just before we went on that break, Simon, you were talking about the people, and democracy is said to be centered around the people and will be about government of the people, for the people, by the people. But the question being asked here is that what people are we talking about? The Nigerian people, I'm sure, is what we're talking about. And how do they, come forward? We see the Nigerian people as a people with their religions, with their ethnicity, with their divides, with their tribe, and all they hold on to. And the question being asked, how informed are the Nigerian people? How informed are they about, government policies, about matters of governance, and of so? And so, will the people play out, with their thoughts and what they believe in and what they see come 2027? Or it will be about people that are said to be gullible, uninformed, and so making their choices in 2027? Would it be about, stomach infrastructure, insecurity that has developed the nation? And how informed would be the Nigerian people as they get ready for 2027? All of these are issues of concern, for the deserving minds that will say 2027 will be centered around all of these. Or again, that the Nigerian people will be influenced by all of the issues, that I've made, all of the things that the false lines of Nigerians. Would it be what will inform or the Nigerian people about making choices come 2027? Hello, Sam.
I can, what was your question?
Okay, all right. Can you hear me now?
If you speak louder in the phone, I'll get.
Okay, just before we went on that break, you were talking about the people. The people, yes. And so I'm asking the question, what people are you talking about? The Nigerian people with their religion, with their tribes, with their divides, with ethnicity and all of that? Will it be what would inform the choices they make come 2027? We're talking about Christian genocide, or we're talking about genocide generally that we're seeing. We're talking about insecurity and all of that. And of course, the North will always say that insecurity, more of it is what we find in the North. So, how informed would be the Nigerian people as they get ready for 2027? Would it be about people that are gullible and, of course, that would stay on the front lines of the Nigerian society in making their choices for 2027?
Let me tell you one political fact. The Nigerian system we run, is evil.
Evil?
It's up in evil. It eats up itself.
Okay.
I normally believe that in Nigeria, it contains seed of its own self-destruction. You know why? Because there are certain things that we imbibe that is almost irredeemable. Every Nigerian, I'm not saying most Nigerians, once they find themselves in the corridors of power, despite all the promises that we give Nigerians, or they have given Nigerians, they are going to change their lives, nothing happens. If you also look at it, ethnicity has eaten so deep in our consciousness. Consciousness in the sense that the many years of state creation has not resolved the issue of ethnicity or ethnic dominance. Religion has eaten so deep that religion itself has become a commercialized venture. That the politician who wants power must use religious leaders to carry some kind of a support. And the people, like I talk about, is the citizens. Willingly or not willingly, or either they are forced or not forced to, they cannot even change their mindset. I tell you this. If I see the North as my problem in Kaduna State, and at the end of the day, they give me Gurara State, you know what will happen? Those people I join in fighting for Gurara State, the new powers that be will now ask, Simon, you have a wish strike. No. Just in one word, you have nothing to offer. I will now see myself in another battlefield. To me, it is better we go back to even the 19th state structure than all this 36 structure, because it has simply multiplied ethnic bickerings. So, when it was Kaduna, Katsina, the war for supremacy was simply being fought between the North, between Katsina and Zaria. Now, when Katsina was removed and given their own say, it became Kaduna. It was now a war between the northern part and the southern part. And I can even tell you, the ethnic minorities, the smaller ethnic minorities in the south are being dominated by the bigger tribes. So, domination or no domination, all these champions will always lead to one thing. Will it lead to transparent governance? No. Would it lead to justice and fairness? No. It will only create a platform for activists, for NGOs to continue screaming without nothing being done. So I have resolved on my own, and it's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion that one, you shouldn't join in fighting an old warlord or an old dominant group. That you now bring the oppressor that is closer you into power. Your oppression will be more. And that is what we are having today. So when I talk of the people are gullible, but the people are full in the love of corruption. They love corruption. Anybody who tells you that if anybody screaming against the system now, many Nigerians that are still listening that they have not found themselves in the seat of power. And there are some of them that are members, both at the state and the federal level. Have you heard anything about them? Are they talking about Nigeria? We're talking about the North. The North, yes, the North is not monolithic. Anybody tell you what is monolithic for them is their selfish interests. Whether they are from Sokoto, whether they are from Kano, whether they are from Taraba, whether they are from Plateau, they are united in their dream of remaining in the seat of power. They do not take into interest what is happening to the poor. And that is why you go to some certain states, one or two states in Nigeria, they have driven away the people from their central land, and invaders are living there, and nothing has been done. You now ask the question, what is happening? Now, when a nation cannot provide security of life and property, I don't know what that nation is for.
Sir, on this issue, I want to look at this individual, and that's talking about the Minister of Defense as it is now. That's talking about Christopher Musa. When he was in the uniform as a general, Nigerians celebrated him and said, talked a lot about him, fine soldier, ready, and of course would always be in the lead, to the battlefront for his soldiers. And so much accolades were given to him. And then, we saw him, from the uniform to, the civilian garb that he's on with. Yeah. And Nigerians still celebrated him as a fine soldier that would get the job done. And from his utterances, the ones that we've heard, that, take out the enemy, don't wait for orders. All of that. And so, he's there now. And we're talking about insecurity. And it is, rebounding all over. That's not, been taken care of yet. And he also said about Muhammad Buhari, late president, that as a soldier, that he would come to take care of all of these. And people are asking the question now about Christopher Musa, that what has happened to the soldier that we knew then as a fine soldier, an officer that will be in the forefront, in the lead, and all of that, and for some of his exploits that he had done. Nigerians are finding a law in the security architecture of this country. And of course, the question being asked, what has happened to him? And what is happening right now?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you that the problem of Christopher Musa started when there was this news report that he's among 3 candidates are being slated to be picked as replacement for Shetima. Let me tell you, I don't see any prospect for replacing Shetima. I've not seen that prospect. Because if Tinubu really want to rock the boat and remove the liabilities for him to tamper with that, you go ahead and do it, but if you go ahead, there are consequences. Now, when that happens, I think I got across 1 or 2 people that are very close to him, because I'm not close. I've never met him. I don't know him. As ordinary Nigeria, I read about him. I'm impressed by what he is doing. When he was a CDS, I think if there was any Nigerian that deployed most of his writing in encouraging him and highlighting him, I think I stand in the front line. Now, when he left, I knew through my contact that he would return as on a bigger position. And when he came, this idea of, he did very well, this and that. I had expected those that are his minders to come and say, no, Christopher Musa is not for politics. He's here to achieve the administration goal of ensuring lives, the protections of life and property. That didn't go back. I was a little bit incensed. I was a little mad when I saw the Sokapu leader then addressing a press conference and calling on the president to pick Christopher Musa as his running mate in 2027. That was when gathers for him. A lot of things happened. Now, you also have to understand, what is the policy of government in dealing with terror groups? It's a blend of both. It's something that I can't even understand. You promote kinetic, make somebody say non-kinetic. Now, you've been doing this kinetic and non-kinetic for so long. What has happened? Well, nothing has happened. We've seen it, things go bad. And Before he left, there's this idea. He said, "Oh, if you see any terror group, shoot them outside." This and that. But we've also seen the National Security Advisor, who is Christopher Musa boss, coming out to say, "Oh, these people are brothers. We cannot. If your hand is bad, do you cut it off? No, certainly cut it off." And I ask a question: if your hand has cancer, are you not supposed to amputate it so that you save the whole body? But that's another story for another day. And the CDS recently came up to say, "Oh, they are prodigal son." I went to my Bible to find out, did the prodigal son kill someone? No. So what type of prodigal son are you talking about? Yesterday, this week, 700 and something, 700, over 700 repentant terrorists were released. They have undergone all exercises, which I am very sure that program was taken from Saudi Arabia. Now, are they following the procedures that is being done in Saudi Arabia to clean them up and declare them as repentant? You release these guys, first of all, they get into the ecosystem and they cannot even find their food. They cannot eat, they cannot drink. Well, were you not there when a retired policeman who has not been paid salary came up everywhere and said, if they don't take charge, he will go and join the terrorists? Because when survival is threatened, people that are honest, when they are not getting a little to even survive, you push them to the extreme. And that is what we have. So anybody who thinks or who was believing that Christopher Musa will be a magic in resolving the issue without government coming clearly to tell us what is the policy of dealing this thing. We do not have a clear-cut policy. Everybody is doing what he wants to do. Of course, I'm aware that some security chiefs are not happy with the issue. Some head of security agencies will have preferred. This is the rules, but the rules are opaque. The rules are not there. So today you say terrorists are welcome. Let's negotiate with them. Tomorrow you hear another person saying, "Oh, shoot them aside." How do you resolve that? And upon all those things, the besieged communities are not involved in the protection of their lives and property. And we all know that we do not have enough boots on the ground. There are enough boots on the ground. There is no nation that has enough boots on the ground, including Nigeria. You know, instead of ensuring that you empower communities to be as a safeguard, you now say, no, it's forest guard. If these people are killing generals, is it forest guard that cannot be done away with? What happened in Kwara? We just saw that. All these forest guards of the thing will not take you anywhere. The people must be involved in their protection. And that is why people are running away from the villages. And the whole essence is that they will not have time to farm, drive them out of their farming, and hunger will be visited. Now, what is the leadership? What is the Tinubu administration doing to protect Nigeria? What are the states doing to protect Nigeria? Will you turn your target? Will you turn your citizens, your peace-loving citizens, into soft targets for these murderers to come and kill them, and you are doing nothing about it? Aside from that, you are impoverishing the people through abductions, kidnapping for ransom. You kidnap this, you pay millions. You do this. All these are the means. What is the politician doing? So for me, I don't even know if the elections will hold. Because the way we are seeing fighting attacks everywhere, when it will come to a time that when the whole place is engulfed in terrorism, then you will now know that it's a problem.
Okay.
So it is left for the Tinubu administration to rise up and stop this thing.
Okay.
Things are going that are underreported. We need to sit down. You cannot conquer the entire people. Tinubu came. He came on his own. He was not sponsored by anybody. So he had a mind of his own. Some of us that believe in him that say, well, if Tinubu has come, maybe it's for a purpose. But we will have the single mindedness to ensure that insecurity is stopped.
Okay.
But recently, it has been shown clearly beyond this thing that insecurity is pervading, and Nigerians are suffering, and they are being killed.
Okay.
And it is quite unfortunate at that.
All right, Simon, getting to the top of the hour of 10 o'clock, we'll take the news brief. And then when we come back, we'll get the audience involved in our conversation. And, of course,
thank you.
Yes. Take the adverts. Come back.
After this quick commercial break. Are you serious? For real, are you serious? Invicta FM.
To jama'a, bismillah a tattaru. Yawa, ku bar lambar mutum ɗaya daga cikin ku in tura muku kuɗin ku.
A'a, to fa, oga, me yasa?
Sai in ta biyan ƙananan caje-caje dan na tura kuɗi? To, waye na iya ba haka?
To kai oga, ai smart cash masu kaifin basira ke amfani da.
Smart me?
Smart cash, guda ka gani ko sai ba sa caja.
Kai, haka take ba.
A ji daɗin yin kowane irin ciniki kyauta babu caji tare da smart cash. Ko da ko tura kuɗi ne, biyan kuɗi ko sayan katin waya. Babu wani dogon labari, aiki ne tsantsa da cikawa. Zazzage manhajar smart cash ko ka danna star 939 hash a yau. Smart cash daga Airtel.
Kalli wani kunshi, wannan shi nake kira gida ya cika.
Mana, ai ni ce na cika.
Ho ho ho. Wane ne yake maganar ki? Ni ina maganar paketin madarar Peak Yogurt wanda yake a hannunki ne.
Aha! Muna gabatar da lita ɗaya na paketin madarar Peak Yogurt, wato Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack, tare da tsarin armashi da ke kunshe cikin tatacciyar madarar saniya. A rarrabawa mutanen gida kowa ya ji daɗi, tare da samun moriyan isasshen vitamin da yake ciki.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
How else would you like your weekend served? You want it calm? You want it groovy? Or you want it edgy?
Your weekend is finally here.
I don't know, hot like your meal?
All right, just before we hit the top of the hour, 10 o'clock, just, a quick reminder there that Perspective this morning is looking at 2027, and we're looking at the indices that are showing what, the election would look like. Opposition is all out there with one purpose: take out the ruling party. And, of course, it's doing all it can to do that. For the ruling party, it is about maintaining status quo and to say that more plans for Nigerians come 2027 and after. But Nigerians involved in all of these, Nigerians are the ones to go to the polls and to elect their leaders. And of course, we're asking the questions. When Nigerians go to the polls, how informed would they be about the choices they make? Would it be on choices of a change that they want? Or would it be on religion? Would it be on tribe? Would it be on the divides of this country? Or it will just be about sentiments that we carry out as we go to the polls? And who are the people that would, go to the polls? Is it about the people that come on radio and television and the newspapers that talk about Nigeria? Or would it be about the Nigerian people who would go out there in the sun, in the rain, to just make sure that they get the leaders they want? Or would it be on some infrastructure, as we've had it in the past, that, yes, It will be about the exchange of naira notes that will influence Nigerians to make their choices. All of these are concerns for 2027. And we saw what happened in 2023. The turnout was poor. Of a country that's going about with 250 million people and the eligible voters, how could we have that numbers in 2023? And for 2027, what would the numbers look like? All of these are our concerns this morning. Simon Reef Musa, my guest this morning, a journalist, public affairs analyst, a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, sharing his thoughts on all of this. When we come back, after the news, we'll get the audience involved in all of this. Let's get your thoughts too about 2027 and this race and what may come out of it. We'll come back again after the top of the news, the hour of 10 o'clock, when we bring you the news brief.
Fake news. We are Invicta 98.9 FM.
10 o'clock.
It happens here. Wura, FA Cup, and Premier League reconnect to DSTV.
10 o'clock.
Stay in. Enjoy Wura on African Magic, football, and more. Reconnect to GoTV.
This is Invicta 98.9 FM Kaduna, Nigeria. I am Moses Wisdom Tanko with the news brief. The Nigerian Defense Academy has charged newly promoted senior officers to demonstrate greater responsibility, discipline, and leadership in addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenges. The charge was driven by the commandant of the academy, Major General Oluyemi Olatoye, during a decoration ceremony held at the NDA's Officers Mess and Golf Club, Afaka, Kaduna State. Addressing the newly promoted officers, Olatoye urged them to justify the confidence reposed in them through their elevation, stressing that their new ranks come with high expectation and more demanding responsibility. Nigeria's data regulator, the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, has raised alarm over what it described as coordinated cyber threats targeting the country's financial systems and critical data infrastructure, urging organizations to reinforce their data security frameworks urgently. In a data protection advisory issued on Thursday, the Commission said its technical assessment uncovered activities by shadowy threat actors carrying out coordinated operations against key national systems. The NDPC warned that institutions that power banking services, payment platforms, telecommunications, cloud infrastructure, and public sector digital services are increasingly vulnerable, heightening the risk of data breaches and service disruptions. And now from the foreign scene, France and Britain are set to chair a meeting of about 40 countries on Friday aimed at signaling to the United States that key allies are prepared to help restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz when conditions permit. The initiative comes amid heightened tensions in the strategic waterway, which Iran has largely closed to non-Iranian vessels following the outbreak of U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on February 28. U.S. further escalated the situation earlier this week by imposing a blockade on ships entering or leaving Iranian ports, Reuters reported. And now in the world of sport, Argentine legend Lionel Messi has become the new owner of Catalan club Cornellà. The 38-year-old, who held Barcelona win the Champions League 4 times and also claimed 10 La Liga titles with the Catalan Giants, is currently playing for Major League Soccer side Inter Miami in the United States. Cornellà announced that 8-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi has formalized the acquisition of the club, who are in the 5th tier of Spanish football. And that makes the news brief at 10. A major bulletin comes up at midday. Good morning and have a victorious day.
News. If stories need to be told, they should be told with precision, truth, and authority. Trust us to bring you unadulterated information on politics, economy, entertainment, sports, and all of life. From local to international news stories as they break. Invicta News at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., only on Invicta 98.9 FM. Be victorious with us. News.
Glad to have you back. Still with the program, Perspectives this morning. And we're bringing the audience into this conversation. Let's get your thoughts, too, about issues that have been raised on the program or in the program this morning. Simon, just before we get the audience in all of these, I brought in the issue of what will, the 2027 election and what it may look like.
You can speak louder, please.
Okay, I was just saying that 2027, and looking at turnout, and the 2023 election, as we had, was not impressive with turnout. And so, with this one of 2027, what you're looking at, because, still on security, we know that it is a big threat to elections now. What is coming out, students, we've had that from different parts of the country, abducted and ransom being demanded by these abductors. And of course, we're just getting another one from Benue State that students that want to go for the UTME were abducted, or some of them were abducted. And generally, the insecurity and how we can have a good turnout with all the, the complaints that we have about matters of governance. And so, are we sure that it may be an election that will be impressive, so to say, that Nigerians will come out and make the right choices with what we're seeing from the insecurity in the country? Are you worried about that too?
Yes, I'm very worried. And before I say this, let me tell you, let me say something. Those people dreaming that C.G. Musa, the defense minister, will do miracles, I think they better be informed that they are living simply in a nightmare. Because the necessary measures to be taken that will align the government in a single focus, using single strategy to combat insecurity is simply not there. They should also remember that C.G. Musa is not an operational command. He was just a CDS. Being a CDS, he had the right to do certain things, call the military, do this. But now he's more of an administrative officer. That is what he is, because everything he does must be endorsed by certain powers. He has to go with the NSA is there, and everybody that has to align with all of those administrative machinery. So I know, I've never met him, but I know down deep in him, he's not a happy man. He's not happy because he is not happy because lives have been lost. He's not happy. He's not happy because even equipment, if you get bothered to ask one or two questions, say you have some foreign sources, they will tell you that the troops, the American troops that are in Nigeria, has told their government that, hey, Nigerians suffering, the Nigerian military suffering from dearth of troops, equipment. Very difficult. We have people, we have relatives that are elsewhere fighting Boko Haram. They will tell you even bullets are apportioned to them. There are a certain number you get low as 10, 15, because there's no bullet. You now ask yourself, how much of the trillions of naira you spend, you budget for the security sector? How much of it is being expended? You expect the National Assembly to do a kind of a supervisory role to find out how did you spend it? And nothing is being done. So all those things are contributing to the hydra-headed issues that are bedeviling the defense sector, and it must be done. Now, what the two big elephants in the room now, ahead of 2027, are two: insecurity and deplorable living conditions. And both are interrelated. If insecurity is ripping across some of those states you mentioned, KB, Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, and many of these states, will the poor, will Nigeria, will our farmers have access to their farm? How safe are they? Most of them are moving out to a place where they can be secured, because if you live in the rural area and you are kidnapped, they ask for money. The only thing they can do is to sell some farms, like it is done in some instances. Sell farms and then pay the ransom. And some people are even not lucky to be alive. So all those things are grave concerns. And because Atabio has come up to tell us that insecurity will only stop after 2 weeks of election, I ask the question: who will be involved in the election? Is it people that are driven from their area? Is it people that are suffering? They're trying to see how they can make a living out of the inhuman conditions they have been thrown into. The policies of government now is not making things hard. See, I had a discussion with a very bosom friend of mine who's a professor. A professor in Nigeria, you should know that, hey, he's staying up there. But he told me, and I was sad, that in his house, he cannot afford breakfast. How many people can eat bread? How much is bread? How much is milk? All those essential things. It's not because the money he receives, he cannot pay. But in Nigeria, he has so many dependents. He needs to reach out to them. We are part of a whole. If we are working, there are certain people that look up to us, and we'll have to find a way of attending to them. But as we speak, people cannot even eat. They cannot eat. You cannot even eat what you see, because you see nothing. I took a guy somewhere he was going to work, so I know you have a car now. I said, yes, this and that. He said he pays 3,000 naira to go to work in Abuja. How much is your salary? 120,000. Okay, you spend 60,000 on salary. You are a civil servant. As transport. What is left? 60,000. At the end of the day, you are left with 60,000. Is it that one that you feed your family? Or you pay rent? He's staying in a rent of about 1 million naira, 2-bedroom flat, 1 million naira. He pays school fees. How does he do it? And you are telling me that people should not be corrupt? Hey, you should be serious. I had somebody in Sosa, one of the parastatals. 2 days to the expiration of last year, they had 7 billion naira in the account. So as someone who's supposed to give the final report, he asked, should we? They said, no, wait. Within 4 hours, all what was left in the account was 1 million naira. There is corruption in the land because people are a bit impoverished. Civil servants that are in position are milking the country dry. And the politicians, the National Assembly people, the State Assembly people, they are supposed to stand for the people. What are they doing? They are doing nothing. They too want to empower themselves. If you want to contest for a Senate seat in 2027, if you don't have 5 billion, you just forget about it. Because you won't get it. Why? And that is why members of National Assembly are empowering themselves. Because they know that in 2027, what will happen is money. But let me also tell you, the insecurity and the deplorable living conditions of the Nigerian people are driving people to a level. I just read somewhere, maybe in the social media, one Arewa APC forum, they are saying no, they have withdrawn their support for Tinubu, and many of those things. So all those stuff will tell you that insecurity is a cause of concern. Anybody who tells you that insecurity is not a cause of concern, tell that person is simply a hypocrite.
Okay, all right. We'll take this to the audience now. Let's get them involved. And, of course, get them ask questions and, of course, make their submissions, too, on our conversation this morning. Numbers to call to be part of this would be on numbers 081 40,989, 081 989 or 070 800 989. 070 800 989. We're on Facebook. Join us on our Facebook page, Invicta 98.9. And of course, we're also streaming on our platforms too. Hello, good morning.
Very well.
Your name, please.
All I want Tinubu to do, as a politician, he knows that he came allegedly. Some people did not like it. Let him watch his back and do the needful.
Okay.
All this grammar that he has been speaking to us, I don't think he will get it right come 2027. Let him do the needful. What he has promised Nigeria, he should do it.
Okay.
Insecurity, hardship, and hunger. He should just tackle those things. He's good to go.
Okay.
I told you, my northerner have disappointed me. I want to see it in him. He overcome all these things. But the reverse is the case. Let him watch his back.
Okay.
And about Musa should watch his back too. There's a lot of sabotage. They don't want him to succeed simply because he's not Namu. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. We'll stay with your calls. And still taking calls. Hello, good morning.
God bless Olu himself.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest. I still remember Amusem Engineer Emmanuel.
Yes,
I must appreciate your guest. I want to ask the president, this is 3 years, we are counting down. Will he say, or those that are supporting him, that he has done well, that we warrant him second time? Mr. Lay, you've been a long-time journalist and a transparent one for that matter. Have you ever heard in our history in Nigeria that there was a solar extort in Asuro, if not the time of Tinubu? Or is it what he meant, that he will give us uninterrupted power and no more estimated bill? Was he referring to Asuro? So where is the uninterrupted power today? When some other radio station will go off, you people will be running generators just to keep the people updated. So the Tinubu performed in his campaign promises, and he's telling us he's not afraid of Obi and others. Now, concerning corruption allegation, we saw where the former governor of Niger Delta State allegedly trillions of naira diverted. But when he jumped to APC, the issue was swept under the carpet. Now, where is the humanitarian minister? Up to now, nobody hear about the case. And he says he's doing well. He's reformed. Nigeria happy with it. I don't know which of the Nigeria. Is it this planet we are, or the Nigeria in Asuro, and the one seeing the reform?
All right.
Look at the history. Yesterday we had that some children that wants to go and write jam. We are adopted. So what will he come to campaign for us come 2027?
Okay. All right. Right. Okay, we'll squeeze in one more and then we'll come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, presenter.
Yes, good morning. Your name, where you're calling from?
Yes, Easy from Karasudo.
All right, let's hear you.
Our president, please, I want to beg him, he should step up his game. Since the day that he says subsidy is gone, Nigerian people, we are suffering, and security everywhere. So I pray that he should do something about security, because killing everywhere. Look at the students, the ones they go for their jam, and they were adopted in the Benue State. So please, I beg our president to step up and do something about security.
Okay.
And General Musa can do anything if the top cannot say that enough is enough. So if the top don't say enough, I don't think that General Musa can do anything. So God bless Nigeria and give us good leaders. And they will sympathize with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Also, getting some messages. Just put them across, Moses, and then we'll come back to Simon Musarif.
All right, this one is coming from Joseph Uzoma. He's saying that, good morning, Mr. Toyin in the studio, and big welcome to our guest. Okay, my comments about the position the party is taking over the leadership of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. To be sincere, the present administration is not doing what is expected to do, and they need to do better. Election is not working, and more. Just see how our major generals and brigadier generals are getting killed on daily basis in the nation. It is something that is unacceptable. I call on the father of this nation, that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to invite the foreign military to come in and help our Nigerian military to fight this wicked terrorist out of our nation, or send them to their creator. We are tired of all of these things. All right, thank you very much for that. So this one says, please, my question to our guest: what is his take on the accidental bombings by the Nigerian Air Force on civilian targets? The recent one is in Market in Yobe State, and the other one also in Tudumbiri, in a village here in Kaduna, and it continues to repeat itself. What is really going on? He further went on to say, politically, to me, nothing has happened at all, if not suffering at high level, poverty, and worsening continuous case of insecurity in the country. Majority of Nigerians are presently suffering. The opposition don't need to explain to the people again that this is what we are going to do for you. The problem is already there, and the people already know what the opposition will do for them if they come to power. The people need no manifesto for now, because the manifesto is already on ground. Finally, the ruling party is already panicking because the opposition ADC party is sharply gaining more popularity. This one went to say 2027 is going to be cool. Nothing will happen, okay? This one says, thank you for the heads up. Well done, sir. Good job. Good morning, Oloy and Invicta family. Happy weekend to everyone out there. Okay, that's the much we can take from our Facebook.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, Simon Reef Musa, you got some of these, and from our callers, and of course, messages we're getting from our Facebook. Till the last lines too on all of this.
Initial call, I didn't get the question you want to put. Maybe you can summarize for me just briefly.
Okay. Yeah, okay. About the renewed hope. The Nigerians are not feeling the renewed hope of this administration. And of course, talking about the hard times the Nigerians are going through. The pains are there. And of course, Nigerians are saying unbearable. And so, how would this administration go about it?
Yeah, I quite agree that we don't have a renewed hope. What we have is renewed hopelessness and despair. There's nothing. Because whether you like it or not, Nigerians are suffering. They are suffering not because of anything, because of deliberate, because of certain policies of government. There is nothing wrong.
And the caller also said that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should watch his back. And of course, Christopher Musa, as the Minister of Defense, should also watch his back. And of course, this administration is full of daggers, that are behind the curtains.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I still insist, and I still call on the president to review subsidy, not in terms of subsidy per se. See, what was wrong with the subsidy regime is the corruption. All nations provide subsidy to their own family. When the president said, it's not as worse as Kenya. What's the minimum wage in Kenya? 170,000 naira. And then you are paying they are paying 70,000 in Nigeria. How many people have access to that in the minimum wage in Nigeria? You ask yourself that question. Nigeria has the blessings of crude oil. We must not suffer as others who are deprived of those blessings. But we must always find ways of making life bearable for Nigerians. When things are hard, corruption takes a center stage. When people cannot afford what to eat, then you are driving them to mass revolt. And that is what the current suffering was heading many Nigerians, the poor, to. And it is not in the interest of Tinubu, like I said. An incompetent government going for an election amid biting poverty is not good. And I can assure you, if ADC, whether ADC comes to be or not come to be, one thing is that you can mobilize the disgruntled into a mass platform that will turn things around. Maybe that will be the way things will make things to work. So we need the government, we need President Tinubu to rise up. It is not time for him to say, hey, he's not afraid of the opposition. We did not invite him, whether he was elected or he brought himself there, he did not come there then to be afraid of opposition. He was there to improve on the lives on the living conditions of Nigeria and to stop insecurity. So what I call on him is to simply stop insecurity. On Christopher Musa, additionally, Tinubu should review the present security architecture in the sense that those that are not working, he should simply remove them. He should align himself to the idea, to the dream of protecting citizens wherever they be, despite of their religion. All the issue of genocide, no genocide, the truth is that there are killings, and these killings are ongoing. So, as president of the country, the buck stopped on his table. I have read some of his tweets. Nigerians have read some of his tweets when Jonathan was there. If he goes back to those tweets, he should take lessons to ensure that he does not allow Nigeria to be killed without any reason or no purpose. And for the Nigerian people, it is time to unite. Any democracy without an opposition is no democracy. Opposition makes the incumbent firmer. They make them to stick to the ideal of improving the lives of the people. Where there is no opposition, then democracy is no longer democracy. Tinubu should listen to Nigerians. They are suffering. He should not listen to National Assembly members that are always saying, on your mandate, we shall stand. What is his mandate? Is his mandate to elongate the suffering and insecurity in the land? Is that his mandate? He should go beyond renew hope. What people want is food on their table. What people want is security of their lives and property. Nothing else. Nigerians don't need many things. The people can go and steal. The political class, the ruling class will continue stealing. Let them collect all the money and live 1,000 years. But all they ask is let the poor breathe. The president has said that they let the poor breathe. Is the poor breathing? That's the question you should look at. So he must have that empathy. He should exercise empathy. And that empathy will make a leader ensure that his citizens are secure. It's not the issue of every day you are meeting with security chiefs, you meet security chiefs on a weekly basis. What has come out of those? What is the outcomes of those meetings? Nigeria wants to know that. And that is why I said those that are not working, those that are not doing what they're supposed to do to end security, remove them and bring others.
Okay.
We cannot subject Nigeria to just very few people that cannot do anything to secure the country.
All right. Okay. All right. Simon Reef Musa, we want to thank you so very much for coming on the program with us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that would just be about the size of it on the program Perspectives this morning. My guest has been Simon Reef Musa, a journalist, a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. He's also a public affairs analyst and a columnist too, putting his thoughts on the race for 2027 and how it is shaping out. We'll come back with Perspectives on Monday. I'd like to thank my colleagues in the studios with me this morning. Ummi, Mohammed, thank you for being part of it. And Moses, thank you too for being part of it this morning, connecting us with the people. And Chiwendu, all right, thank you for taking care of the studios for us this morning. And to our audience there, thank you too for your time with us on the program. And here's to say, have a wonderful weekend.
Invicta FM.
Shin kun gaji da wahalar biyan kuɗaɗe kamar na katin wuta? Ai kuwa, a Bill Station ana iya yin hakan cikin daƙiƙa kaɗan. A biya ko aika kuɗi cikin sauƙi a ko'ina kuma a kowane lokaci. Ga sauƙi, sauri da tabbacin kariya. Bill Station, kuɗinku, manhajarku.